Elisa, would you like to share? Alyssa, sorry.
Hey, okay, great. I'll just share my story then. Uh, from a really young age, I was raised in a very intense household. My sister and I, we used to call it strict. But now that I'm getting older, I realize that strict was really a euphemism. There was just a lot of physical violence and mental violence that was going on. Uh, my parents raised themselves out of poverty, and we were raised in a middle class, a mostly Caucasian suburban neighborhood, and therefore there's a lot of pressure put on us to be perfect, to not become a negative racial stereotype as like a Hispanic woman. Also from a very young age, I had this like instinctual connection to dance. And so by the time I was 8 years old, the way I was going to get out of this place was to move to Los Angeles and become a professional dancer. I was like, I'm going to get out of my house. I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to move. I'm from Texas. So by the time I was 9 years old, I had created nutrition plans for myself, exercise plans for myself, from books that I found in my elementary school library. I stopped going to birthday parties. I stopped taking vacations. And I basically created this life for myself. I would get out of school. I would make straight A's in school, make my parents, happy. And I would get out of school and I would assist the younger dance classes from say 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., take my classes from 6 to 8 p.m. And I wasn't old enough yet, but I would sit and I would watch the older kids' classes from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I did this every day, Saturdays and Sundays. I would stay all day to try to get out of my house more, and also to be a professional dancer. So I did it, and I was accepted to school in California near Los Angeles. I studied dance, and when I came out of school, I was offered a position as a principal dancer with a full-time dance company. And I was offered this position as a principal dancer, and I became a principal dancer, a principal tap dancer, classically trained and everything else too. But the problem was I had $30,000 in student loan debt, $30,000 in credit card debt, and my pay for being a dancer is $400 a week. And that's with a 40-hour job of rehearsals, and then plus training, paying out of pocket for my own health insurance, paying out of pocket for physical therapy if you're injured or anything. All of it just comes back on me. So I started learning how to become a housekeeper. I learned how to clean homes off of YouTube, and started to do that in order to pay off what I needed to pay off. And that's when I realized that my adult values weren't lining up with what my adult life was looking like. I'm passionate about social justice and making the world a better place. And when I was on this hamster wheel and dancing all the time and cleaning houses and trying to survive myself, I realized like my time and my energy wasn't really helping anybody. I couldn't volunteer my time. I was calling representatives, writing emails, trying to go to protests, and you can't do that when you can't feed yourself. I couldn't do that. Sorry, I don't want to speak for anybody else. I couldn't do it. I didn't have the time or the energy, and I didn't have the money. In terms of like trying to create like a dance show for like benefit, dancers already don't have a lot of time and a lot of money, and to put them in that resource was never working out for me. So I just decided I needed to basically prove to myself that I needed to just rewire, and start studying. And the LSAT brings me so much joy, which sounds really weird. It's also extremely lonely, which is why I'm here. But I found myself here with COVID back at my parents' house, and physical violence is back with COVID. So I'm losing track of days and weeks. And so I keep telling myself that if I've done it once before, being such a little girl, I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And so I'm just trying to figure out how to do that again. And that's it.
Alyssa, would you like to go?
I think tonight I would like to just spend like a few moments sharing how powerful it is hearing other people's stories. I think I personally have a history in my life that when I feel at my lowest, or something is really holding me back from being able to move forward with personal goals and whatnot, looking outward of myself and especially hearing from others, I feel like it equips me way more. And I don't know. I think for me personally, I know I have a lot of fear saying like what I just said, especially like thinking like, oh, is this going to go on the internet, and like, will I bring my family shame? You know, is something that's a huge fear of mine all the time. And listening to others, I think, makes me feel more powerful and safe. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.